I recently went back and watched Rango because I hadn't seen it in 4 years, and I was blown away at what I had watched. A smart, well written, well acted, well performed movie that did something no other animated movie has tried since. Rango is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated movies ever made. I understand that it has grown a large following over the course of its time, but this movie still doesn't get the recognition it deserves. So, I've compiled a list of why this movie is so good. And I have not seen any other person on this platform go into as much detail as I am right now. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Rango is an anti animation. Ever since the movie came out in 2011, I've never seen a movie like it since. Rango thrives with its imperfections in its world. No character looks perfect in the movie. They all have something about them that looks off. For example, Rango's one eye is smaller than his other. But it's not just the character, it's also the world. The town of Dirt is a good example of a town that just looks gritty and mean. It doesn't care about your feelings. If it could, it'd hang you. Character design. It's not often that an animated movie can draw my attention away from the main cast for even a split second, but it did a good job. Anyways, the character design. The rest of the cast looks so interesting that I swear they can have their own spin off movie or show. They all have a very unique and different designs that stand out as odd, but really good. Story. Rango has a surprisingly good story. No, it's not perfect, but the fact that it's good is good enough with me. Rango starts off a literal no-name who gets thrust into his own adventure, with the main theme being, who am I? Throughout the movie, Rango is constantly challenged with who he is and where he belongs. At the start of the movie, he lies to everybody in the tavern that he is from the far west and that he is some well known gunslinger. But the truth is simply he lied about killing the Jenkins brothers with one bullet. He lied about Rattlesnake Jake being his brother. He even made up the story about the spirit of the West. But as time progresses through the plot, Rango slowly becomes who he says he is. He becomes the sheriff of Dirt. Of course, he has a rude awakening later on in the movie, but I won't spoil that. Go watch the movie yourself to find out. Animation. Even though earlier in the video I said that Rango is an anti-animation, it is still nonetheless animated. And let me tell you, it is a spectacle to look at. This movie looks better than modern day animation. And this came out in 2011. The colors, to the lighting and the shadows, the detail of fur and feathers on characters, to insane detail of reflection in the characters' eyes. It is a beautiful film to look at. Music. It would be a crime not to talk about this movie's soundtrack. It is a masterpiece. But is that really surprising? The soundtrack is composed by Hans Zimmer, who is a music legend. This movie is not a musical, but goddamn do I sing it like it is. The music is stuck in my head and I want it to stay there. I love the soundtrack so much. I now have it on Spotify. Thank you. Voice acting. As everyone their mothers know, Johnny Depp plays Rango. And even though nowadays he's busy with relationship issues, back then he was the star of the show. Everyone knew Johnny Depp. And hell, I bet some people went to watch the movie just because of him. But even though he's the most popular actor there, that shouldn't undermine the rest of the cast. Because my god, are they giving it their all in this movie. Humor. There is no doubt that this movie is funny. I was practically laughing, giggling, or smiling at every joke in the movie. But then again, I was smiling the whole time watching. And after, I'm still smiling while writing the script. This movie has some of the best humor I have ever seen in an animated film. And that is simply because this movie's humor is not made for kids. It's more for adults and teens. Why did they go this route? I mean, you watched the movie and you can probably tell. Creativity. So, with everything that I have said, how creative is this movie? Well, this film practically summarizes creativity. Creativity is art, it's inspiration, it's emotion, it has a message, a moral, it has a meaning conveyed in a unique way, and it is a result of care, time, and effort put into making a masterpiece. Rango is the purest form of what I consider art. Final thoughts. As you can probably tell, I love this movie. In fact, I think it is so good that it deserves to be called a masterpiece. A film in the same league as Kung Fu Panda, Megamind, Fox and Hound, Shrek, Toy Story, and The Secret of Nim. And, of course, many more. But if you haven't seen it already, go watch this movie, because there will never be another one like it again. But, as the legend goes, now Rango, he's gone. But his legend still lives on in the brothels and saloons of Durango. He lived as he died, a six gun by his side, and all the ladies cried.